But what we can do is we can give you some contact information for the folks down in DC who at least would have jurisdiction and authority over these types of matters, and you can reach out to them.
Well, can you give us some assurance that you will pass on our message? Because we can't just hop a bus and go to Washington.
Sure.
We'd like you to be in contact with Rosenstein directly because you have access to him much more than we do.
I can't promise that I'll directly speak to Mr. Rosenstein because I don't have necessarily direct access with him. What we can do is I will pass on to my connection to the Department of Justice, which is through the Executive Office of United States Attorneys, the concerns that you folks have expressed here today.
Thank you.
I'll also, through Jim, give you either both a phone number and an email address that you can use to contact the people in D.C. directly.
We've already done that.
Okay.
Yes, we have plenty of names.
And I understand.
I mean, the thing is, we feel like the only thing left is the judicial system.
Right.
And the Republicans aren't doing anything to stop us. The Democrats don't have the power to legislate.
Sorry.
You guys are it, okay?
Sorry.
Something has to be done to someone who openly admits to obstruction of justice, who openly admits to giving secrets to the Russians. It's frightening, and we need your branch of government to somehow help us and save us.
Okay, well, just
It's
remember
time
that.
to work
So
for the
it's clear.
people.
We work for the executive branch, okay? So we're not part of the judiciary.
Oh, well.
We work for the Department
Even
of
better.
Justice, which is an arm of the executive.
Yes.
The judiciary is obviously a separate, distinct, and
Yes.
independent entity. They're over the courthouse. So we work for the executive branch. My boss is Attorney General Sessions, and Mr. Rosenstein is the Deputy Attorney General. So the second one of the department. Well, the people, your elected representatives would be the folks that make policy, right? We in the executive branch simply just enforce the laws that are on the books. The policy, legislation is passed by Congress, and we have, of course, have 2 Congresspeople and 2 United States senators who are involved in that process.
And we're missing a date with him right now.
I think we understand the tripartite system
Right.
of our government. We've all been through 6th grade and civics class.
Except me.
What we're asking is, as we understand the current political configuration, Rosenstein seems to be our only hope for saving democracy by appointing a special prosecutor, since Sessions has been required to be recused because of his own obstruction. Rosenstein is the only person we understand who legally has the capacity to appoint a special prosecutor. Because of your tremendous position defending the rights of Rhode Islanders, of whom we are about 35, we are asking you to represent our state as citizens of Rhode Island, whose rights are being trampled by having a president who is colluded with our national enemy, to defend our rights as Rhode Island citizens, to have a president who does not collude with our sworn enemy.
Thank you.
What I can tell you is we will pass on what you've told us here today to DC, and we will give you the contact information for you to speak to them directly. I have to let you know I'm not going to serve as your advocate. That's not my position. Whatever my own personal opinions may or may not be on these issues, I have a role to play in the executive branch in the Department of Justice. So I can only promise that I'll let the people in DC know that you were here. I'll let them know the specifics of your concerns, and we'll give you the contact information so you can also communicate that information to them directly. So it's not going through the filter of me or my office.
Sir, with all due respect, your job is to defend democracy. And that's what we're trying to do right now.
Okay.
Real, true democracy.
I understand that's your position, and I
But that's not a position. A position is it's not the will.
Recusal.
All right, on to
How far
Sheldon.
does that extend? Sessions recusal.
Guess he's a reporter.
Being involved in this investigation. How far does that
I
extend?
don't know. Again, that's not a matter that our office here in Rhode Island has been involved in. I can rely on the reporting that you've seen publicly that Attorney General Sessions has recused himself from a particular investigation, and that responsibility has now been assigned to Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein. As far as how far that extends or what's particularly involved, that's not something that we've been involved in, and I have not been briefed on that because it's not one of our cases. I can tell you here, for instance, the Department of Justice engages in the recusal process all the time. Okay, in the state of Rhode Island, so I'm sure you're aware, it's a small state, and we've oftentimes had prosecutors in our office that have known targets of investigations or whatever, and had to recuse So that's a standard process that's going to work in part. I just don't know particularly what this particular issue, because we'd be directly involved myself and members of my office.
Well, you know,
That's
we
where
know that.
we're asking you to rethink the mandate of your position because of your sworn duty as an upstanding defender of justice in Rhode Island to think about the effects of your citizens in Rhode Island because of who you have in your office. We'd like to ask you to rethink more broadly and ambitiously about the scope of your position.
And I understand that's what you'd like to do.